All right, guys, I just got some final thoughts that hopefully will, it's a bit philosophy and a bit mindset for, getting this done and starting to push toward your goals. This course wasn't designed that you follow all my protocols. It wasn't, you need to wake up at 3:40 to accomplish your goal. It's for you to accomplish what you want. Remember that. Base every decision, all your decisions on your goals, your vision, trying to point you in the direction of the life that you want to live. You're going to make mistakes, you're going to get tripped up, and the thing is you just got to keep moving forward. It sounds like a pep talk or motivation or whatever. It's the reality. Like, I get discouraged all the time, and what I have to do is just, okay, I made some mistakes. You know what? I ate too much ice cream tonight. I blew my diet, or whatever I'm working on. I didn't work when I set this in my schedule. It's going to happen. The key is just to make the next right decision. Don't get caught up in this shame, guilt, I failed bad for myself, wham, wham, poopy pants. Just make the next right decision. Yeah, and this is a big thing, is a lot of people think self-development is selfish. And everyone's like, I don't have time for myself, I take care of other people. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, that's an excuse to not develop yourself. Because I want you to sit and think with this question. If I was 10 times better, let's say I'm 10 times better, how would that affect everyone around me? If I was 10 times smarter, 10 times more caring, 10 times more focused, 10 times more goal-oriented, 10 times wealthier, what would that do for everyone around me? If your life is only about yourself and your own accomplishments, I could see it being negative, but remember, the more you personally develop, the more impact you're gonna have. It is 100% gonna happen. A story from my life, when I was training for that 100-mile race, and I know that's kind of a primary example, but when I focused on myself, the training I had to do, my spiritual life got locked in. My investment time got locked in. I think that I personally think that was the best semester I had working for the Alert Academy. I just was so focused on what I needed to achieve, and it actually gave me time to be alone, to think about my thoughts, and to really implement so much that I had a deep well to give to other people because I had prioritized myself. And that whole idea is like, oh, we need to be selfless and give to everyone else and all this stuff, and you don't really see that model being successful for anyone who achieves much of anything. And, for those of you who are, I'll just say, I want to share a little bit about principles from the life of Jesus, because that's kind of where I draw a lot of things from. Jesus consistently focuses on what he needs to accomplish and his purpose over what everybody else wants. You see this kind of continually throughout the 4 Gospels in the Bible. Jesus will do something, he's always drawing away from the crowd to be by himself with God. And that's kind of what fuels his life. And you see that, a lot of pastors probably talk about that. But then inside our own application, we forget like, oh shoot, I need to focus on myself so that my family can depend on me, my community can depend on me. But instead, it's all about service and giving. What happens is we crumble on the inside because we're not pursuing these things. And that's where you look at the life of Jesus, man. People always wanted him to do stuff. Like, they were trying to make him king. He's like, nope, I'm not going to be king. They were like, yo, his mom even asked, like, turn the water into wine, please. And he corrected her and was like, hey, like, this isn't your job to tell me what to do in this season. And he did it in love, and that's a key component. But he was mission oriented, okay? Everyone wants to make him king, and he's like, my purpose is to go die on a cross for everyone's sins. So I'm not gonna do that. Like, no debate. Peter, put your sword back in your sheath. Like, don't kill that guy. This is God's plan for my life. This is my purpose. I'm focusing. He wasn't like, okay, you guys want me to do this, I'm gonna do that. And that's a really hard thing for a lot of people to learn, is like sacrificing, maybe people liking you, different things to start achieving what you feel like you're supposed to achieve in this life. and then the pressure of others. And like I said, like people can be a good accountability or a bad influence on your life. And that's tough, you know, but you have to learn that. And you have to put your purpose higher than how other people feel about you. And some people could say like, oh, you were so selfish in your job. You took so much time to train and run and all this stuff. Guys, I had the most impact I have ever had when I am focusing on myself the most. And some of you have never done that. That's why you're here. And some of you have done that. And I want you to think like, hey man, if I was 10 times better, like if I was 10 times more driven, how would that affect every aspect of my life? Yeah, it's kind of like the principle here is like clarity of purpose, refusal to be distracted equals extraordinary impact. You don't need everybody's approval, guys. You want their approval a lot of times, but that doesn't bring fulfillment. What brings fulfillment is you having purpose and vision for your life and chasing that. What brings happiness is you helping other people achieve their fulfillment. Little snippet there from How to Outwit the Devil, but by Napoleon Hill. So I want to share with you guys a quote that I heard from Napoleon Bonaparte. You know, I've always thought he was an amazing character because of what he accomplished. He's one of the most accomplishing emperors who ever existed. And the amount of major battles he won is like astounding. Like major battles, not like little skirmishes. And you know, I just want to say this to see, I'm going to read you this quote to say, what is your vision? What are you focusing on? Does it matter? Okay. And that's what I want you to think about as I read this. It says, Alexander, Caesar, Charlemagne, and myself founded empires. But on what do we rest our creations of our genius? Upon sheer force. Jesus Christ alone founded his empire upon love, and at this hour, millions of men would die for him. And I share that quote, guys. You don't have to be into Jesus or not or anything. But the idea that I want to leave you with is like, are you setting your vision on something that matters? Because Napoleon looked back and said, we did some cool stuff. We took over the world. But millions of people would die for Jesus at any moment. And he did it completely based on love. Like he was enamored by what Jesus' focus and vision was and how he accomplished that. And that's kind of what I thought, okay, we've done the course. This is the end. You know, it's the execution phase. We're getting it. Like, what are you doing? And it is when you create that vision, you have that vision, like, man, do you want to look back and say, man, I wish I would have done it a little differently. I wish I wouldn't have burned so many relationships in the process or whatever. Really take time to think about that. Because here you have Napoleon, one of the greatest conquerors who ever lived, is looking up to a carpenter from Nazareth in Galilee as standing in awe of him and what he accomplished through sheer love. Guys, you have the blueprint. You know you need to create a vision. You know the principles. You know the idea of progressive overload, planning and execution. The only thing that's standing in your way is yourself. And don't look back and say, I wish I would have planted a seed 20 years ago. Plant the seed today, execute on it. The seed's not going to grow standing in your hand. It's going to only grow when you plant it in the ground, water it, and watch it. So think about, hey, 5, 10, 15 years, where do I want to say that I put a good seed in the ground and I'm happy I've developed that. You look back at yourself and see the person you became through your daily actions. So I want to leave you with that. I want to leave you with that encouragement, like put your vision into something that matters and know like, hey, this is possible. It's possible to achieve my dreams if I put focus, intentionality, and execution through all the planning, through all the stuff. And I hope you got a ton from this course. I hope you now know what to do. And yeah, I do one-on-one coaching. If you guys are interested in that, message me. I do private coaching to help you kind of set this stuff up in your life and to help you execute, hold you accountable. If you're interested in that, contact me. If you like the course, write about it inside the chat. We'd love to hear. You guys know what to do. Time to execute.